You know, greenhouses are no longer small glass buildings that are just tucked away in gardens. Some now stretch for miles, produce food for entire continents, and operate like an industrial city. So in today's video, I'm gonna count down 15 of the most massive greenhouses on Earth. Let's start with number 15, the Eden Project biomes. The Eden Project. It's located near St. Austell in Cornwall in England. It's on the site of a former China clay quarry. It opened to the public in 2001 and it's recognized as one of the largest greenhouse projects ever built. Rather than a single structure, the site consists of multiple interconnected greenhouse domes known as biomes. These are designed to house plants from very different global climates within one landscape. The most prominent structure is the rainforest biome. It's designed to replicate a warm, humid, tropical environment and reach a height of about 50 to 55 meters at its tallest point. According to published figures, the rainforest biome covers about 2 acres of enclosed ground area. Its footprint stretches roughly 200 meters in length, and it makes it large enough to accommodate mature trees and elevated walkways. The interior plantings include canopy trees, understory vegetation, and species like bananas, coffee plants, rubber trees, and cacao, all arranged to illustrate how tropical ecosystems overlap. Adjacent to the rainforest biome is the Mediterranean biome. This one's smaller, but it's still pretty massive by greenhouse standards. Its internal climate is designed to remain warm and relatively dry, supporting plant species that are native to Mediterranean-type regions around the world. And that includes parts of southern Europe, parts of California, South Africa, and Australia. Olive trees, grapevines, herbs, and drought-tolerant shrubs are planted in these open landscapes that reflect the seasonal dry climate rather than a dense rainforest. Let's talk about their construction method. Instead of glass, the biomes are clad in inflated cushions made from something known as ETFE, a lightweight transparent polymer. Now, this allows high levels of light transmission while still weighing significantly less than glass, which enables a wide structural span without internal support columns. This kind of design choice is critical to the scale of them, allowing uninterrupted interior volumes that feel more like an outdoor terrain than an enclosed building. Temperature, humidity, airflow, irrigation, they're all actively managed to protect both the plants and the structures themselves, and rainwater is collected on-site and reused where possible, reducing reliance on external water sources. Although the Eden Project is not a commercial agricultural facility, its size and complexity place it among the largest enclosed plant environments accessible to the public. Number 14. The Flower Dome. The Flower Dome is part of Gardens by the Bay. This is a large public horticultural development located in Marina Bay, Singapore. It officially opened in 2012 and holds the Guinness World Record for the largest glass greenhouse in the world. Unlike tropical greenhouses that focus on heat and humidity, the Flower Dome's designed to maintain a cool, dry climate that are suitable for plants that normally grow in Mediterranean regions. The Flower Dome covers about 3 acres of enclosed floor area, and it makes it one of the largest single-span greenhouses ever built. It stands about 38 meters at its highest point, and the interior volume is large enough to contain full-size trees, wide promenades, and large display gardens without crowding. The structure is built from steel and glass, and it's engineered to minimize any internal columns, which creates these long sight lines across the interior. Inside the Flower Dome, the plant collections are organized by geographic region rather than by individual species. Visitors can walk through landscape zones which represent parts of southern Europe, coastal Australia, South America, South Africa, and even California. Olive trees, baobabs, succulents, and flowering shrubs are all planted directly into sculpted terrain rather than a raised bed, which gives you a sense of scale and continuity. And because Singapore has a hot, humid tropical climate, keeping the Flower Dome cool year-round is a major technical challenge. The interior temperature is maintained at about 23 to 25 degrees Celsius. That's significantly cooler than the outside environment. This is achieved through a combination of chilled air circulation and high-performance glazing. The glass panels are treated to reduce solar heat gain while still allowing sufficient light for the plants. Now, the dome is not intended for any food production. Its primary purpose is conservation, display, and education. Many of the species housed inside here come from regions threatened by climate change or habitat loss. As a single enclosed structure, the Flower Dome is one of the most massive greenhouses ever constructed, both in physical size and its technical complexity. Number 13. The Culiacan Valley Greenhouse Region. The Culiacan Valley Greenhouse Region. It's located in the state of Sinaloa in northwestern Mexico, and it is one of the largest protected agricultural zones in the Americas. This region lies near the city of Culiacan, and it benefits from flat terrain and fertile soils. The greenhouse expansion accelerated in the early 2000s as demand grew for year-round vegetable exports. The total area is just over 37,000 acres, according to data from Mexican agricultural agencies. This figure includes modern glass and plastic-covered greenhouses, as well as large shade house structures used for climate moderation. Now, while not all facilities are enclosed glass houses, the majority qualify as controlled environments. The primary purpose of them is commercial food production for export markets. Major crops here include tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, chili peppers, squash, and specialty vegetables. A portion of the produce grown in the Culiacan is shipped to the United States and Canada, particularly during winter months when domestic production in those countries is limited. As a result, this region plays a critical role in North American vegetable supply. Greenhouse structures in the valley vary in size and design. Individual facilities commonly range from several acres to more than 100 acres under continuous roofing. Most use steel frames with plastic film or rigid panels rather than glass, which shows both cost consideration and the region's warm climate. The cultivation methods will range from soil-based growing to hydroponic systems depending on the operator and the crop type. Drip irrigation here is standard across the region and allows precise control over water and nutrient uptake. Energy usage in the valley is lower than in colder greenhouse regions because the heating demand is minimal. Most climate control relies on ventilation and shading and maybe evaporative cooling rather than active heating. Supplemental lighting is limited and typically only used for specific crops or production cycles, and as a result, the operating costs per acre are generally lower than in northern greenhouse systems. Labor plays a major role in the region's greenhouse operations. Large numbers of workers are employed here in planting, maintenance, harvesting, and even packaging. Many facilities are integrated with on-site packing and cooling stations, allowing produce to be prepared for export immediately after harvest. And while the Culiacan Valley does not feature iconic architectural greenhouses, its importance is in its scale and its output. It makes it one of the most massive greenhouse-based farming systems in the Western Hemisphere. Number 12. The Binh Duong High-Tech Agricultural Greenhouse Zone. The Binh Duong High-Tech Agricultural Zone is located in southern Vietnam. It's northeast of Ho Chi Minh City, and it's one of Southeast Asia's largest coordinated greenhouses. The project was initiated by provincial authorities to modernize agriculture and improve food security. The greenhouse zone covers thousands of acres, and with a significant portion dedicated specifically to greenhouse and net house cultivation. And while exact figures vary by reporting sources and development phase, public planning documents consistently describe it as one of the largest greenhouse agricultural projects in Vietnam. Now, the primary crops grown here in these greenhouses include leafy greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, herbs, strawberries, and some specialty vegetables. Production's aimed at both domestic urban markets and regional exports, so controlled environmental cultivation allows the farmers to produce consistent yields despite Vietnam's hot, humid climate. The structures are typically steel-framed with plastic or polycarbonate coverings rather than glass, and this design emphasizes ventilation and humidity control rather than heating. Roof heights and sidewall openings are optimized to promote airflow and reduce disease pressure, which is a major concern in this tropical agriculture. One notable feature is the integration with agricultural research and training. Portions of the area are dedicated to testing crop varieties, cultivation techniques, and automated technologies suited to these tropical conditions. These facilities all support collaboration between government agencies, private companies, and academic institutions. Energy use here is moderate compared to cold climate greenhouse regions. Heating is generally unnecessary, but cooling and ventilation systems are essential here. Renewable energy adoption exists in some facilities, though the usage varies and it's not uniform across the zone. Water management is a critical focus due to seasonal rainfall variability. Many greenhouses used closed-loop irrigation systems that capture and reuse excess water. The Binh Duong Greenhouse Zone is not designed for tourism and it's largely closed to the public. Its coordination and role in transforming agriculture here in a rapidly developing region, it's one of Southeast Asia's largest greenhouse concentrations, and it represents a major example of large-scale controlled environment farming in a tropical climate. Number 11. Thanet Earth. Thanet Earth is a large-scale commercial greenhouse located near the village of Birchington-on-Sea in Kent, England. It became operational in phases starting in 2009, and it's recognized as one of the largest single-site greenhouse developments in the UK. Unlike regional greenhouse clusters, Thanet Earth is a concentrated facility built and operated as one integrated agricultural site. The total greenhouse area is about 220 acres. This includes a series of massive glass houses constructed to industrial standards for year-round food production. The structures are designed with high ceilings and wide spans, which allows extensive natural light penetration and efficient air circulation. They primarily grow salad crops and vegetables for the UK market. Main products include tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and lettuce, and the facility was developed to reduce reliance on imported produce by supplying fresh vegetables grown domestically throughout the year. Crops here are grown using hydroponic systems, meaning the plants are cultivated in a nutrient-rich water rather than soil, and this allows more control over nutrient delivery and it reduces water waste compared to traditional agriculture. Thanet Earth is connected to a combined heat and power system that generates electricity while also capturing waste heat for greenhouse warming. Carbon dioxide produced during electricity generation is purified and injected into the greenhouses to enhance the plant growth. This kind of integrated energy approach allows the facility to maintain the stable growing condition even during the colder months. Rainwater, too, is collected from greenhouse roofs and stored on-site for reuse. Excess irrigation water is captured, filtered, and reused within the growing systems, and according to published details, these measures significantly reduce the overall water consumption per kilogram of produce compared to open field farming. And from a structural perspective, the scale is kind of notable within a single location. Individual greenhouse units are large enough to require internal transport systems for workers and harvesting crops, and automated climate controls will regulate the temperature, humidity, and lighting. Thanet Earth is not open to the public and it operates as a closed commercial facility. Its size and integration and role in national food supply rather than architecture is a single-site greenhouse development that covers tens of acres under glass, and it's among the most massive greenhouse facilities ever built for food production. Number 10. The Great Glass House. The Great Glass House is located at the National Botanic Garden of Wales. It opened to the public in 2000 and is considered the largest single-span glasshouse in the United Kingdom. Unlike commercial greenhouses, this was designed specifically for conservation, research, and public education, with a focus on rare and threatened plant species. The structure covers just about 2.5 acres of enclosed space and reaches a height of around 24 meters at its highest point, and what distinguishes it is that single-span design, meaning the roof is supported without any internal columns. This creates an uninterrupted interior landscape, allowing larger trees and natural terrain to develop freely beneath the glass. At the time of completion, it was one of the largest of its kind in the world. Now, it houses plants from Mediterranean-type climates, which really only occur in 5 regions globally. These are parts of southern Europe, California, central Chile, South Africa's Cape region, and southwestern Australia. Many of the species grown inside are rare, endangered, or extinct in the wild, so the planting layout reflects the natural ecosystem rather than a formal garden bed. Construction materials include steel and high-performance glass that are designed to maximize light transmission while minimizing heat loss. The curved roof structure was engineered to withstand significant wind load and weather conditions common in Wales. So environmental controls maintain stable temperatures that are suitable for these plants, although the conditions are less tightly regulated than in commercial food production. Water use is carefully managed, and while detailed operational figures vary over time, the glasshouse is managed with a strong emphasis on sustainability and conservation rather than yield. The primary goal is long-term preservation of plant diversity rather than commercial output. From a visitor perspective, the Great Glass House allows full public access through internal paths and elevated viewpoints, and it makes it one of the largest walk-through greenhouse environments in the UK. And although smaller than large agricultural complexes, the Great Glass House qualifies as one of the most massive on Earth in terms of enclosed volume, uninterrupted interior space, and ambition. It shows how greenhouse design can support conservation on a monumental scale. Number 9. The Jeju Smart Farm Innovation Valley. The Jeju Smart Farm Innovation Valley is located on Jeju Island in South Korea, and it represents one of the country's largest and most advanced greenhouse-based agricultural developments. The project was launched as part of a national initiative to modernize agriculture, improve their food security, and support technology-driven farming. Development began in the late 2010s with greenhouse operations expanding through the early 2020s. The greenhouse zone covers over 60 acres, and they're constructed primarily from steel and glass that are designed to withstand their strong coastal winds and seasonal typhoons. Roof heights and structural spans are larger here than those found in traditional Korean greenhouses, which allows for increased airflow, lighting systems, and mechanized operations. They focus on high-value crops here like tomatoes, the leafy greens, strawberries, and specialty veggies, and most cultivation is carried out using hydroponic and substrate-based growing systems rather than just soil. Those methods allow precise control over nutrient delivery, and they reduce the water use compared to open-field farming. Climate control, irrigation, and nutrient delivery, they're all managed through a centralized digital platform. Sensors collect real-time data from across the greenhouse blocks, which allows the operators to adjust conditions quickly in response to plant needs. And while automation varies by crop type, many processes such as irrigation and ventilation are largely automated here. Energy use is a major consideration due to the scale of the operation. Some sections incorporate renewable energy sources, including solar power, though the exact proportion of renewable energy varies by operational phase and is subject to change. Heating demand is lower than in mainland Korea due to their relatively mild climate, which supports year-round production. The site also functions as a research and training hub. Portions of the greenhouse complex are dedicated to testing new crop varieties, cultivation methods, and automation technology. These are used by agricultural researchers and by new farmers undergoing training programs. Access to those zones is restricted, and the complex is not really designed for general tourism. In terms of scale, it doesn't really match the vast greenhouse regions of Europe or Spain. However, as a single coordinated development with modern infrastructure, it ranks among the most massive greenhouse projects in East Asia. Number 8. Koninklijke Serres Greenhouses. The Royal Greenhouses of Lekken are located on the grounds of the Royal Palace of Lekken in Brussels, Belgium. Construction began in the late 19th century under King Leopold II, with major sections completed between 1874 and 1905. Although historical in origin, this complex is one of the largest and most extensive ever built for non-commercial purposes. The complex covers over 6 acres of enclosed space, and it's spread across a network of interconnected glass structures. These include large domed halls, long glass galleries, winter gardens, and transitional corridors. And unlike modern greenhouse clusters that emphasize efficiency, these greenhouses were designed to combine botanical function with architecture. The structures are primarily built from iron and glass, which reflects the late 19th century engineering techniques, and some sections like the palm house and winter garden stand more than 20 meters tall. Many of the original structural elements still remain in use today. The house has an extensive collection of plants, including palms, citrus trees, camellias, azaleas, and subtropical species. Some plants in the collection are more than a century old and were originally planted shortly after the greenhouses were completed. The environmental control in this greenhouse relies on a mix of modern and historical systems. Heating has been updated over time to maintain the stable temperatures, but the buildings are not operated with the same level of precision found in contemporary greenhouses. As a result, the plant selection does reflect what can be reliably maintained within those constraints. Now, they're not permanently open to the public. They are accessible only during a limited annual opening period, typically lasting a few weeks in the spring. Outside of this period, access is restricted. And while these greenhouses are smaller than large agricultural complexes, their total enclosed area, the structural height, and the interconnected layout place them among the most massive greenhouse installations ever built for botanical purposes. Their continuous operation, more than after a century of construction, highlights the durability and scale of these early large-span greenhouses. Moving on to number 7. Appharvest Greenhouse Facilities. So Appharvest, they operate a group of very large commercial greenhouses in the Appalachian region of Kentucky in the United States. This company was founded to bring controlled environment agriculture to areas with very little access to fresh produce. Construction of the first facility began in the late 2010s, with operations expanding into the early 2020s. The flagship facility is located in Moorhead, Kentucky. This one alone covers about 50 acres under glass, and it makes it one of the largest single greenhouses in North America. Additional facilities in Richmond add some significant enclosed growing space too, bringing the company's total greenhouse footprint to well over 75 acres. While the greenhouses here are built primarily from steel and glass, they're designed to maximize natural sunlight. Their location was chosen in part because the region receives sufficient daylight hours for year-round cultivation. Now, Appharvest focused mainly on vine crops like tomatoes, as well as leafy greens and berries, depending on the facility. Crops are grown hydroponically, meaning the plants are rooted in nutrient solutions instead of in soil. According to company-released data, these systems use up to 90% less water than open field farming, though the exact savings can vary by crop and season. Unlike older greenhouse operations, these facilities incorporate extensive automation. Conveyors, automated climate systems, and data-driven monitoring are used to manage production at scale. Human labor is essential for planting, harvesting, and quality control, but many repetitive tasks are mechanized to support consistency. In terms of enclosed area, structural scale, and integrated systems, the Appharvest facilities rank among the most massive in operation in North America. Number 6. The Sunqiao Urban Agricultural District. The Sunqiao Urban Agricultural District is a planned development located in Shanghai, China. It was conceived as a large-scale urban farming zone designed to integrate food production, research, and technology within a major metropolitan area. The plans were announced in the mid-2010s, with greenhouse construction forming a central component of this project. The whole district covers several square kilometers with a substantial portion allocated to greenhouse-based cultivation. Project descriptions show that the enclosed greenhouse area alone spans hundreds of acres when fully developed, making Sunqiao one of the largest urban greenhouse zones in the whole world. They're designed for high-density food production like leafy greens, vegetables, herbs, and specialty crops. Many facilities use hydroponic or aeroponic systems. Structurally, the greenhouses vary in size and design depending on their function. Some are large glass industrial houses similar to European commercial facilities, while others are modular structures designed for research and testing. And most are built with steel frames and glass or high-performance transparent panels. Environmental control systems to regulate temperature, humidity, and airflow across the district, and because Shanghai experiences hot summers and cool winters, they're engineered to handle a wide range of external conditions. In addition to food production, they include research and demonstration facilities focused on technology for agriculture. These areas are used to test new growing methods, crop varieties, and automation systems. Some sections are intended for education and professional training, though most production zones aren't open to casual public access. Planning materials include the use of energy-efficient systems and localized resource recycling, though exact performance metrics vary by facility. Where specific figures are unavailable, the project is described in general terms rather than precise data. As a coordinated urban agricultural district with extensive closed growing space, they rank among the most massive ever attempted within a city. This place demonstrates the combination of sheer size, urban integration, and emphasis on controlled farming at a metropolitan scale. Number 5. Leamington Greenhouse Complex. The Leamington Greenhouse Complex is located in southwestern Ontario in Canada, near the town of Leamington, along the north shore of Lake Erie. The region is often referred to as the greenhouse capital of North America due to the concentration and scale of its commercial greenhouse operations. The total area in the Leamington region exceeds 4,900 acres based on agricultural land use data from Ontario and industry associations. This makes it one of the largest contiguous greenhouse zones in the world. They're clustered across Leamington, Kingsville, and the surrounding municipalities, and they form a dense corridor that stretches for many kilometers. Most of them are large, modern glass structures designed for year-round commercial production. Individual facilities commonly span 10 to 50 acres, while some single operators managing multiple adjacent sites, and ceiling heights typically range from 6 to 9 meters. The use of glass rather than plastic coverings improves durability and light transmission in the region's variable climate. Major crops here include tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, strawberries, lettuce, and herbs, and in recent years a significant portion of greenhouse space has also been used for cannabis production, following legalization in Canada, although food crops continue to account for a substantial share of the total area. Production is also largely hydroponic. Many greenhouse operators are connected to natural gas-powered combined heat and power systems. Now, these systems generate electricity while also capturing waste heat to warm the greenhouses. Carbon dioxide produced during combustion is often cleaned and injected into the growing areas to improve plant growth. This kind of integration allows large facilities to operate efficiently even during cold winters. Water management is highly controlled. Excess irrigation water is captured, filtered, and recycled, which reduces the overall consumption, and automated systems regulate temperature, humidity, and lighting. While individual greenhouses may not appear unusual on their own, the combined footprint of this region is immense. From satellite imagery, the area is clearly visible as just a continuous patchwork of glass. In terms of total enclosed growing area though, production output and density, the Leamington Greenhouse Complex ranks among the most massive greenhouse regions on the planet. Number 4. The Shouguang Greenhouse Agricultural Zone. Shouguang is a city in Shandong province in China. It's widely known for its role as one of the country's largest vegetable production centers. Greenhouse agriculture like this has been central to China's economy since the late 20th century, and over time the city's developed one of the most extensive systems in the world. The total greenhouse area covers nearly 100,000 acres. Official Chinese publications and government data frequently cite the figure exceeding 97,000 acres when all types of protected cultivation are included. Unlike regions dominated by glass structures, these greenhouses vary widely in design. Many are plastic-covered structures supported by steel or bamboo frames, while newer developments increasingly use modern and steel glass construction. The primary purpose of these greenhouse systems is food production. Major crops include tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, eggplants, leafy greens, and other vegetables grown for domestic markets. Shouguang is a major supplier of fresh produce to northern China, particularly during the winter months when outdoor farming is limited. Cultivation methods will range from soil-based growing to modern hydroponic systems, depending on the facility. However, technological sophistication varies, and not all greenhouses operate at the same level of automation or environmental control. Where precise data is unavailable, operations are best described as mixed tech rather than uniformly high-tech. They also host research centers, seed development facilities, and large produce trading markets. These support the greenhouse industry by developing new crop varieties and distributing vegetables nationwide. The city's annual vegetable exports further highlight the scale and importance of this greenhouse sector. Taken as a whole, the agricultural zone represents one of the largest protected cultivation systems ever developed. Number 3. The Papenburg Greenhouse Complex. The Papenburg Greenhouse Complex is located in Lower Saxony near the town of Papenburg in northwestern Germany. This region has developed into one of the country's largest centers for commercial greenhouse vegetable production, driven by flat terrain and access to transport networks. Greenhouse construction here accelerated in the 2000s and has continued steadily since. The total greenhouse area exceeds 1,200 acres according to German agricultural data, and while smaller than the massive greenhouse zones in Spain or China, Papenburg's notable because much of its greenhouse area consists of modern high-tech glass structures. The crops grown in these greenhouses are tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and other high-yield vegetables. Production's year-round and supplies supermarkets across Germany and neighboring countries. Most cultivation takes place using hydroponic systems where plants are grown in mineral substrates or nutrient solutions instead of soil, and structurally the greenhouses are designed for northern European conditions. The roof heights commonly exceed 6 meters, which creates large internal air volumes that help stabilize temperatures. Energy integration is also a defining characteristic here of this complex. Many greenhouses are connected to a combined heat and power plant fueled by natural gas or biogas. These systems generate electricity while capturing waste heat for greenhouse heating. The carbon dioxide produced during the energy generation is often cleaned and reused inside the greenhouses to enhance the plant growth. Rainwater is collected from greenhouse roofs and stored in large reservoirs. Irrigation runoff is captured, filtered, and reused, which reduces the overall water consumption. And automated systems monitor nutrient levels, temperature, humidity, and light across large areas, allowing operators to manage production efficiently at scale. In terms of enclosed growing area and production density, the Papenburg Greenhouse Complex ranks among the most massive greenhouse regions in Germany. And while smaller in total area than global leaders, its modern glass houses makes it one of Europe's most significant agricultural zones. Number 2. The Greenport, West Holland Greenhouse Region. Greenport, West Holland is the largest greenhouse region in the Netherlands and one of the most extensive areas in the world. It encompasses multiple sub-regions forming a vast corridor of controlled environment agriculture between Rotterdam, The Hague, and surrounding municipalities. The total greenhouse area within it exceeds over 9,800 acres based on Dutch government and industry data, and this makes it one of the largest continuous greenhouse regions on Earth. The area contains thousands of individual greenhouse facilities ranging from small family-run operations to massive industrial-scale complexes, which covers dozens of acres each. The structures are designed for year-round production. Crops include vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and lettuce, as well as flowers and ornamental plants. The region is a major exporter. They supply fresh produce and cut flowers to markets across Europe and beyond. The ceiling heights of the buildings typically range from 6 to 8 meters. That allows for space for advanced lighting systems and climate control equipment. Many facilities use full LED supplemental lighting to maintain productivity during the winter months, and climate conditions inside are controlled by centralized computer systems. Many are connected to combined heating and power systems, district heating networks, or maybe geothermal energy sources. The waste heat and carbon dioxide from these processes is often reused in the greenhouse operation. This integration allows the whole region to operate at an enormous scale, while improving energy efficiency relative to traditional agriculture. Water management is similarly advanced. Rainwater harvesting is widespread, and closed-loop irrigation systems minimize any runoff. Excess water is treated and reused, significantly reducing any freshwater demand. The facilities also include research institutions, seed developers, logistics hubs, and agricultural tech companies, and this all supports continuous innovation in greenhouse design, crop breeding, and even automation. The region's infrastructure allows rapid distribution of fresh produce to major European markets, often within the first 24 hours of harvest. Taken as a whole, the Greenport, West Holland represents one of the most massive, technologically advanced greenhouse systems ever developed, and it's near the very top of any global ranking of greenhouse scale. Number 1. Almeria Greenhouse System. The Almeria greenhouse system, located in southeastern Spain along the Mediterranean coast, is the largest greenhouse agricultural zone on Earth by total surface area. It's centered in the Almeria province and extends across multiple municipalities. From both aerial surveys and satellite imagery, the region is instantly recognizable as a vast expanse of white-covered structures that stretch from the coastline inland. The total greenhouse covered area here exceeds 31,000 hectares. That's nearly 76,000 acres, according to data from Spanish regional authorities. This figure refers specifically to land under protected cultivation and doesn't include supporting infrastructure like packing facilities, roads, or water treatment plants. No other region in the world approaches this scale in terms of continuous surface coverage. The system's so large that it's routinely used in climate and land use studies because of its measurable effects on local temperature and surface reflectivity. The majority of their greenhouses use plastic film coverings supported by metal or wooden frames. This kind of construction style is often referred to as the parallel system, which emerged in the 1960s and 70s as a cost-effective way to protect crops while maximizing sunlight. Over time, though, the basic design has been incrementally improved with stronger materials, better ventilation, and more advanced systems, but the fundamental structure remains relatively simple. The primary purpose of this greenhouse system is commercial food production. Major crops include tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, eggplants, melons, and various leafy greens. These kinds of crops are grown year-round and exported extensively across Europe. It also plays a role in maintaining consistent vegetable supply for European markets, and its output represents a substantial share of fresh produce consumed during colder months. Now, the region does benefit from a mild Mediterranean climate with high levels of solar radiation. This reduces the need for artificial heating compared to greenhouses in colder climates. Most greenhouses, though, rely primarily on passive solar warming. Some newer facilities do incorporate supplemental heating or cooling, but these remain the exception rather than the norm. As a result, energy use per acre is generally lower than in northern greenhouse systems, although yields per square meter can also vary. Water management is one of the most critically and closely monitored aspects of this greenhouse system. The region receives very little rainfall, which makes water scarcity a persistent challenge. Greenhouse operators rely on a combination of groundwater, desalinated seawater, recycled wastewater, and limited rainwater collection. Drip irrigation is standard across the region and allows for precise delivery of water, which would minimize evaporation and runoff. The plastic waste management here is another defining issue associated with the scale of their greenhouses. The plastic coverings used on the roofs must be replaced periodically, generating large volumes of waste material. Recycling programs exist and collection rates have improved over the years, but the effectiveness varies depending on operator participation and processing capacity. From an economic perspective, this system supports tens of thousands of jobs across farming, logistics, packing, equipment manufacturing, and export services. This region has large production auction centers and distribution hubs that handle vegetables grown under the plastic-covered structures. These facilities allow rapid sorting, quality control, and shipment to international markets, often within the first few hours of harvest. Despite its industrial appearance from above, the Almeria system is not a single coordinated facility. It's a vast aggregation of independently operated greenhouses. This decentralized structure has allowed rapid expansion over the decades, but also results in variability in technology levels and environmental performance. In terms of physical scale alone, no greenhouse system in the world compares to this one. The total enclosed area, the visibility from space, and role in global food supply place it unequivocally at number one. And while it lacks the architectural complexity of monumental glass domes or the technological uniformity of Northern European greenhouse clusters, its unmatched size and production capacity make it the most massive greenhouse system ever developed.